And then use technology. I am set up from home, so if I need to finish something, I will pull away from that desk. That's another quick tip too, is pick a time to pull away from that desk. You're always going to have work, and you're never going to get it done on a daily basis. You will never get it all done. So set a time, say, okay, I'm going to pull away from the desk. And if you have to finish something, go do something with the kids, get them bed bathed and homework done into bed, and then come back and do your email at 8 o'clock when they go to bed, hopefully. But that helps me get a little better hold on my daily work, because as we all know, the emails can get out of control. I think that's all of my quick tips. Let's see.
Kelly, do you have a question you want to pose to the audience?
I don't have a question, but I do have one kind of piece of advice, is that whenever you feel like you're getting down, that I just can't handle the work, being a mother, keeping it all together, what I like to do is don't let it get me down. I let it empower me. To say, if I can do this, if I can, have 2 babies, practice law, be a full-time litigator, commute, then I can do anything. So I look at it as a challenge. I look at it as, accomplishments. I'm all about accomplishments. And if I can accomplish, getting the kids off to school in a timely manner and they're all put together. So let it empower you. If you can do a good job at this, don't let it get you down. Let it empower you to do a better job and move forward.
Thank you. Kelly, that's a great thought for us to have. Instead of letting something get you down, think of it as empowering you. Thank you for that. Beth.
I'll start with my question. It's something I experienced. I'd like to see if other people have experienced this as well. Have you felt judged by other women by the choices you've made? Whether it's to stay home or not to stay home? That's really unfortunate. It's unfortunate because the truth is everyone is so different and our situations are so individual that we need options and we need to feel good about the choices that we make. And we need to help support other women and make them feel good about the choices they make, because you don't know what their personal situation is, their financial situation. I mean, everyone's got their own little personal story, and I think that just a smile and a hug or a pat on the back saying, I think you're doing a good job, means a lot. Especially for women who are educated, who decide to stay home for a while. You'd be amazed at how marginalized you can be. And I'm sure every situation applies. So anyway, that was my question. My tips, to-do lists. I love a little to-do list. But at the end of the day, I like to come up with a to-do list for the following day. I think that the reason that's important is because it helps you do several things. First, it reminds you of important obligations and meetings so that you don't forget something. And it's really easy to forget stuff. We've got so much going on. We're constantly connected. We have the Blackberries. We have emails. And if you can just remind yourself of what's going to happen the next day, you do have a little advanced warning. It also focus your attention to specific tasks. And even when you think you're not thinking about it, you are thinking about it. And sometimes you'll come up with creative solutions at the most, inopportune moments. Maybe you're cooking dinner or taking a bath or whatever. But if you know what those tasks are that you have to accomplish, they really are in the back of your mind. And then third, it forces you to organize and prioritize. If you have to-do lists, you see what's most important and what has to be handled first. The other thing is meal planning. Now, because I have 5 kids, I have to meal plan. One, we never can go to a restaurant without waiting for at least 45 minutes for a table. And so if we do go out to eat, and we do go out to eat, we lose like 3 hours, and easily. And so if we do it on a school night, it's a big deal, work night. The other thing is we can't get out of any restaurant for under $100 unless it's fast food. So I try to plan meals because it saves me time and money. And I've done a number of things. My mother corrected me like all good mothers do. She taught me that everything worth doing should be done well and that nothing should come from a can. You have to do it the hard way. So I've cooked everything from scratch for a lot of years. I was a short order cook for my kids. Literally would say, well, what would you like for breakfast? And I would get 5 different little answers. And at some point I woke up, and I realized that SpaghettiOs or anything like that. They still never had soup from a can, which was, my mother-in-law was kind of not happy with me. We were visiting during Katrina, and I have one child in particular, Patrick, who wants a big meal all the time. He wants rice and gravy, and he wants good stuff. And she said, Patrick, what would you like for lunch? And he said, well, what do you have, Grandma? And she said, well, go look in the pantry. And she said, there's soup. And he looked at her and he said, well, I've never had anything from a can before. And she shot me this look that I'll never forget. But I have gotten better. My kids have discovered Pop-Tarts, and they've discovered ramen noodles and other things from their friends. And so I've learned to relax about that kind of thing. But I pick up stuff that helps me, you know, the roasted chicken at the grocery store, or I will shop for complete meals. At one point, I was working in a firm where 3 attorneys literally would take turns cooking, and we would cook at the office. And we'd make enough for each to take home dinner that night. And it was wonderful, because you could cook and walk away, go do your work, run and check on it. And everything tastes better when somebody else cooks it, doesn't it? And we weren't messing up the kitchen, and as long as we left the firm kitchen in good enough shape, somebody else cleaned up after us, you know, the cleaning crew. So it was nice, and believe it or not, you have neighbors and friends who would love the opportunity to do something like that with you. They would say, sure, if you want to prepare a meal for me on Monday, I'll do it for you on Tuesday. And it will make a big difference in your life. So,
Great, thank you so much, Beth. With our
I
remaining,
have one more that
Okay.
I forgot.
go Kelly.
Get a cleaning lady.
Thank you. With our remaining time, we're going to ask the audience to help us and help each other with some of your own personal tips. I'm going to tell you the categories first, and if you come up with some others that are not in this category, great. We would like to find out some tips from the audience on how do you relieve stress, how do you stay organized, some tips on working and handling your children, tips on keeping the relationship with your significant other or husband going, and last, how to keep balance. All right, would anyone like to volunteer to give us one of their tips? If we don't get any volunteers, I wrote down some names. Okay, how about a tip on staying organized? Thank you, Kelly.
Okay, I have 2 tips on organization. On Mother's Day, about maybe 2003, my husband and children gave me a home. And I was like, well, this is not a very good Mother's Day present. I'd rather have a massage. But I read enough of the book to start putting in my information. And everything that I need is in here. My children are 14, 12, and 10. And they have their own lives now, their own schedules, from every sport you can imagine to other extracurricular activities. Plus, I'm involved in all kinds of stuff because I have Angel's problem. I don't say no. And so, and then my husband has his own thing. So it helps me keep track of everybody's birthday, everybody's schedule, and there's even a part here